Alani. You need a stroke? Pop in Alani. So, all right, everybody. Welcome to Talk of the Trades. I think this is episode 12. We're just going to run with it because I think the last one was 11. So shout out to Bianca for keeping count. We appreciate you. Today on the show, we're talking about a couple SEO topics. So some stuff about Google AI mode, updates on referral traffic from ChatGPT, and then we'll talk about some stuff on the paid media side. So Google's rolling out a new verified badge, which is interesting. But before we get into that, I see it says what's new on here.
Yeah.
Do we have anything that's new?
Allie comes home tonight.
Oh, yeah?
I've been without her for 4 days. It's going to be great. Excited to see
Even
mom back.
that single dad life?
Yeah, it's been good.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of swimming, I'm assuming?
A lot of swimming, a lot of story reading, a lot of fake gymnastics. It's good.
Okay, nice. Well, I've been a traveling man, as you know.
Yeah.
So we were in Detroit, had our shoot with Window Pro and Bob Guinea. Shout out to Bob Guinea for being such a gem in Window Pro. So that was good.
Mm-hmm.
And then where else was? Oh, I was in Pennsylvania doing some family stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys have never been to Pennsylvania, beautiful state. A lot of windy roads, a lot of hills, a lot of trees. Beautiful state.
What part were you at?
We were in Fairchance, which is like an hour south of Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
which is like literally 10 minutes from the West Virginia border. So ended up going to Morgantown and hung out with some family there and did dinner. But I was shocked like how close it was. Like my geography, like once you get past like Texas basically is not great. So understanding like Pennsylvania, because I guess New York's right there, West Virginia, Ohio. So yeah, but that whole area is just beautiful. I don't know. Did you go or
My
are you
mom's
going?
from Wellsboro, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Like up in the mountains. Definitely cool area. Lancaster area and all that for the Amish. Did you go to any of those areas?
No, the area I was in, apparently George Washington, when he was still like a British general, fought the French there. And then General Bracken, I believe, or Bratton, something like that, is buried there. So whatever that area is, definitely like south of the state. So where your mom was from, where is it like relative
Yeah,
to?
I think it's northeast area.
Northeast.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll have to look at it. Don't quote me on that. Sorry, Mom. Yeah, but the fun story, just getting through, not the content yet, but a fun story about ChatGPT. My mom, she goes back. She wrote some books about her small town. And,
Oh, wow.
she has some people in her Facebook that are also from back in the day.
Okay.
Last year we took a beach trip, buried my daughter in the sand, put a bucket over. I swear there's relevancy here. Put a bucket over her head, just kind of as our thing. Where is she? You know, this woman posts on my mom's Facebook from like back in Wellsboro. That's incredibly dangerous. Did you know that 3 children died from sand dune collapses in the last 2 years? How dare you do that with your grandchild? My mom just was so nice, you know, talking about whatever. Lady did it again this year.
Wow.
We did the Japanese torches or Japanese lanterns.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we couldn't even get them off the ground. It was so windy. And she does multiple posts about how dangerous it is and how it's illegal. So I turned it into a ChatGPT image of this lady screaming at my parents, telling them that it's illegal. So the beauty of AI, my brother happened to comment back at her, then
Did you post that photo?
No, I didn't have the guts to do it. My mom asked us not to. It's someone she knew.
Okay.
But, you know,
That's
Pennsylvania's fun.
Yeah.
Have a soft spot there, a spot in the heart.
Okay.
My mom definitely loves it.
Nice. Yeah, it's a beautiful state for sure. So, what do we have on upcoming content ideas?
Yeah, upcoming content ideas. That's an internal note.
Okay. This is a real show, guys, just so you know. All right, moving on. So first topic, SEO related, talking about Google AI mode. So it's now available in 180 countries, only English. Now has agentic abilities, which I haven't really messed around with that. I have used AI mode for some different things and just kind of testing research. I used it to like compare some products. So for like a week there, I wanted to be a DJ Like I think I told you my obsession now is watching DJ videos on YouTube. So I was like, I want to be a DJ. So I was like looking at headphones and different things. So, but my wife said I can't be a DJ at 40. You know, that
Boo
dream,
her.
that dream is dead. No, she actually supported it.
Yeah.
I think it was more so I just let that dream die for now. But so used AI mode on a few things. Looks like they're touting the fact that it can book restaurant reservations, which I feel like that's been around for a while. I know there was like some rumors before, we might have talked about it, how they're rolling out this booking process to like nail salons and other places. So that'll be interesting. Wondering, you know, overall thoughts on that, and how far do you think we are until they'll incorporate it into like booking appointments for the trades, you know, plumbing, AC stuff. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, they need to get some big movers and shakers to adopt it with the booking calendars. I mean, you've got some key ones with ServiceTitan and some of the bigger ones that'll probably happen for sooner rather than later. I still think it's probably 6 months out. You also, you know, most home service companies want to have control over the schedule, so it might be a fake booking, just reserving a slot. But the impact here is massive, and you know, if you're not doing online booking, that's a huge miss. And when we look at these, like, I don't want to go too far away from Google AI mode, but I would still argue that GPT's agent is much more efficient than the Google one at this point.
Yeah.
But when we signed up for Google Ultra, and I think I mentioned it in the last pod, that, you know, one of the key bullets said that the AI would make outbound calls and do things like that for you, but it was very vague. After signing up, it does not do that. There's no way to get it to do it. But like, the biggest impact that I'm seeing here is, you know, we've talked about SEO, making your website indexable, making sure you have backlinks across the web. Like, that was the old school, really, really important that Google sees you as a priority. Now we have to be shifting to say this is a Google AI change. However, how are the bots and how are the AI scrapers taking into account the different priorities? So like, it used to be domain authority for Google was the big thing to set them apart. Well, there's financial means here. So like, GPT isn't technically going to go to Google first to scan the web. They're going to go to Bing.
Right.
And Gemini going to go for Google. So there's still like a prioritization where I've seen more Bing Maps come from GPT than Google Maps at times. And so
Got you.
You can still get them. They'll still go back there. But trying to land the plane, making sure that your services match what the bookings are looking for. And so you can take it back. If you look at Google GLS and the Google AI, what actual categories of job types are available in GLS? Does that match your price book in your CRM? Does that match the page title and the content on your page about that service? And so if you take it a step back and say like AC tune-up maintenance, let's say, is under HVAC, well, AC tune-up, do we have that as something in our price book? Do we then have it as a page on our site? And do we have it as a service under our GBP? All those, the taxonomy should match what Google's looking for to make it easier for the AI bot to search it. It's pretty intuitive. They're pretty darn smart. They'll be able to figure it out. But if you can make the AI work less, you're gonna get more visibility.
Yeah, and I think we're learning some of that as like we build out these like AI agents. Like, there has to be some sort of like consistency in the path and like identifiers, you know, at least if you're trying to do something very custom with an agent, right? Like around specific content. But it seems like we're still in this like wild, wild west. There is no real like unique identifiers. We just have a sense of like matching your price book to the, you know, category, to the page title, to try to make that path like a little bit easier for the bot. What's interesting to me is, so you mentioned like, there is some like booking capabilities already. And the way I understand, like at least the restaurant reservation thing, like it actually calls the restaurant, right? And so I'm interested what a world is going to look like when you have AI bots calling AI bots, right? Because a little bit of a tangent here, but we're seeing it more and more of the trades with like Avoca and Broccoli AI and all these like AI agents coming. It's going to be interesting to see how they talk to each other, and do they even need to? Could they speak like their own language to figure it out, perhaps? So
Yeah, and does it become a point to where it's not even a vocal, where it's okay, in GBP or whatever your lead aggregator is, are you going to put in a different phone line that's a dedicated robo line, right? And so then instead of it being an actual phone call, it could be a different type of media.
Wow.
Where they're able to probably, instead of using words, be able to send data back and forth quicker, right? And so that's something like I could see that's beyond what I would ever be able to develop, but just thinking of what could be down the pipeline.
Yeah, because you think if it's like AI talking to AI, like the language could be whatever for them to like understand it better. So that'll be interesting to follow and see kind of what happens there. Also, the fact that it's in so many countries right now, but only in English. So obviously a long way to go that, because is there even 180 English-speaking countries out there?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe there is. We should.
GPT.
Yeah. Actually, somebody in the comments list out all 180 countries, please.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Man, there was something key though there. Oh, I'd be interested. So we do spot checking, even though we're at the C-suite here. Like we're really excited about our clients, and when we get a new one, or if one of them has a rough month, or if they adopt a new technology, we're going to call grade and we're going to take a look at, are they booking or not. With what you've seen, because I haven't seen a good AI call booker just yet. At least that could even come close to matching empathy and a lot of the stuff Brigham, talked to us about from Power Selling Pros.
Yeah.
Is there one that you've seen that's worked well so far?
Not that I've personally seen. So the one I probably had the most exposure with is the CRM Workies. They have their own like Genius something or other. And I've listened to a lot of those calls, and not really great. Like some of the kind of issues that I've run into is just like the cadence in which it replies. A lot of times it doesn't understand the entire like list of services that you may offer. But the other big one that was a flag for me is this gentleman had called in on behalf of a deaf person to communicate. And it was like AI trying to talk to this guy. And he was like, hey, just want to let you know I'm calling on behalf of, this person who is hearing impaired. And, AI could not, it just was like trying to talk over him and ask him questions. So he ended up hanging up. Thankfully, he called back and finally got like a real person. So that one didn't work great. I'm in all like the kind of mastermind groups for the trades and stuff like that. And the two I see coming up most frequently that are, the popular ones are the, I believe it's Avoca, AVO, CA, and then the other one is Broccoli, which is a very unique name. And then I know we have a couple clients that are using some other ones as well. I'm still not convinced that it's going to book calls as well as like a human, would. And we're in a position right now where we have a client asking about their booked appointments, because year over year it's like flat, right? And so, one of the things that goes in my mind is like, oh, well, this year they're using a AI call center person, right? And so, or bot. And so is there impact? Because I feel like we are spending more, so we should be getting more calls, but we're not booking any more appointments. And so is it an issue because now we have AI trying to book some appointments and their call booking rate is not, what it is? But that's probably the metric we would want to look at, is like, what is the call booking rate for AI versus like a human? And I'm sure there'll probably be benchmarks coming out soon. It would be interesting if anybody out there on ServiceTitan has that information. Would love, for you to share it in the comments or to kind of understand that. But that's something I hadn't thought of until now. Like, how are these AI bots, are they being measured just like humans? You know?
Like we've got the lead pulse where we're basically tagging calls, how they were handled, and things along those lines. We're not giving full coaching advice, but even in the written transcripts that we get, we watch a lot of the GLS leads that come in, and what you typically see, especially with the client that I follow very closely, a plumber, that when they outsource their call center, they rarely book. But then if it's their actual staff and they're available, they book really, really well.
Yep.
That's something that, we're grading them pretty aggressively. Who's grading the call from the bots? And if 100% of your calls are going to the bots, what are you comparing that data to?
Exactly. Yeah, I will say the transcripts for sure have gotten a lot better. At least we use CTM, call tracking metrics, and I can't help myself but to go listen to calls and look at stuff, especially with certain clients, just to keep a beat on it. And we just launched a campaign for a client through eLocal. eLocal is not a platform that we really use a lot, so I've really been paying attention to those calls to see kind of what's going on there, and those transcripts have been super helpful to spot check and then dive a little bit deeper, like when I see something. So that's promising to see that get better. And then I know you started creating kind of like an agent or a workflow to start pumping those into Gemini, which then spits out back kind of like a summary of stuff to help with our lead pulse.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, our current process, and it has been, we have people doing call grading, and then we're automating that a bit. But now it's, okay, now that it's more AI related and automated, we could actually get more specific and drill down on the types of tags, where if you're teaching virtual assistants on how to tag something, there's a lot of lost in translation, or it's just easier to keep five different tag types. But now that we use an AI agent, we can increase it to 10 to 12 pretty quickly.
Yeah, I just had a total like tin hat moment. Like imagine, so now we have AI answering the phones, and then we have AI grading like the AI. Like one day they're just gonna collude and be like, no, we're both doing a great job. Yeah, like good job. It's so funny to think about that, like, because it's so scary, because not too long ago, like GPT was testing a model and it wouldn't like turn itself off, so, and they literally like had to pull the plug. But can you imagine, like, everything is going to be like AI is checking AI to check AI. That's why HI is super important, guys.
No issues here.
I know, right?
Everything's on the up and up.
Oh, that's going to be interesting. So,
did you know that your oven just turned on?
I know.
Because the AI's got control of your home as well.
Oh man, yeah, don't tell me about it. Our little floor robot, like the vacuum thing, was going crazy the other day. So I'm like looking up online, and of course we have the brand called Eufy, and apparently it's not the one you want because China can like tap into your. So I was like all freaked out now. So it's unplugged, and the robot is not cleaning my house anymore. So need to shop for a new robot vacuum. So anybody got good recommendations, put it in the comments. So we're gonna have some fun comments this show, hopefully. So cool. Well, that was a little bit on AI mode. I know we kind of went tangent on it, but it's gonna be very, very interesting to see where we go in the next like 5 to 10 years, and how much of this like booking and stuff is gonna be done by agents versus like actual people. Because I'm not gonna lie, like I do like the reservations for restaurants, because I've used it probably 20-30 different times with a level of success. So it's nice. It's like having a personal assistant, you know.
And in your operating system, because you should be on an iPhone, most people should be on an iPhone. I feel strongly about that.
I am.
Your own operating system is going to be able to curate what you're looking for, and so if your booking preferences have been taken note of, then it's going to follow those processes pretty quickly. I mean, I hate to think about it, but it's going to be necessary evil.
Yeah, and kind of to the point you made earlier about how GPT talks to Bing and Gemini talks to Google. what do you think? Because we already have like a baseline of like best practices for like Bing and Bing Places and what that needs to look like, Apple Maps and stuff. Do you think there's going to be a day where, Bing becomes even more important from an optimization standpoint, or more, a better question, like what should people be optimizing on Bing right now to make sure that like they're compatible with GPT? Do you have any tips on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's the specific things of like Bing has web tools and their Webmaster tools, making sure that you're still set up and configured there. I think the bigger thing is just Bing Places and locality, and then Apple Maps is oftentimes lost on agencies and lost on businesses to where we got so accustomed to with the citations of getting to like the big four, like Localese and some of the four aggregators.
Yeah.
Now we really need to manually go and claim your Apple Maps citation.
Yeah.
And it's a running joke within my family that like, okay, if you use Apple Maps to get to the golf course, that you're going to end up on the 7th hole instead of the clubhouse.
Yeah.
As I just said, the iPhone is way better than Google phones. Google Maps is far superior than Apple Maps. I mean, that's just a given, so I'm not a pure Apple fanboy.
Right.
But all that said, diversity of your data, making sure that it's easy to read. Your website, I don't know how much longer websites are going to be a key component of the indexability. I'm thinking 3 to 5 years, not like in the next 6 months. But I see our websites in the future being more of like a table of contents. And people are going to be interacting and engaging less with our websites, more with the higher quality data aggregators, which is another thing. Like with Yelp is a big piece of Bing. So when you talk about, I'm finally landing the plane. See, we don't do show prep where it says, here's the question and then get to the answer. Even more important than Bing Places for me is Yelp. And this is why we really do strongly suggest any of our clients at least do the EP. It's like $180 a month.
Yeah.
You keep competitors off of your page. You get some of the cool features and verified badge. You're in our ecosystem so that people from Yelp Local are not calling you every day.
Yeah.
However, it's something that based on our clients' needs, what they're serving, where they're at, whether you want to do ad spend or not. But Yelp is typically the go-to for Perplexity and for GPT. They use it quite frequently.
Interesting. Yeah. We know in some folks' mind, Yelp is the devil, but important to optimize that profile. And like you said, like there's a baseline of investment you can make there that'll go like a long way. And $180 a month is not too crazy. And so where does Bing Places get their reviews? Is it coming from Yelp? Okay. And then Apple Maps pulls from what, Facebook?
They pull from Yelp as well.
They pull from Yelp as well. Okay, interesting.
So they've got a blended, but I typically see them come from Yelp.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Bing went through that whole weird thing with Yahoo, and it's like, do we do Yahoo Local? Does Bing, get bought by Yahoo? They had a whole weird shakeup. But yeah, it's still kind of a mixed bag, but that's why I say Yelp is still a very important player for local.
Yeah, it's interesting how ChatGPT is giving Bing almost like a second life. I really thought like early on that it was going to be a major game changer for Bing, and they were finally going to get more like market share, which I don't know has exactly happened. I know Google has lost some share just because of Perplexity and ChatGPT and all of them, but interesting how it's kind of highlighted Bing and now making sure like, I think it was always important to have something there, but ChatGPT is making it even more important, I think. And Gemini, I mean, it's a given because it's going to Google and we've always all optimized for that. So all that to say, optimize your Bing presence, everybody. Should be important.
And I think it's also like coming, and as we've tried to move on from this, we can't help but lean in, but like, it's coming back to the personalization of how you handle the web, how you search with your phone. And what we know is that we're going to have personal experiences throughout anything digital. And so in the same way that like our SEO lead, she goes to Google search and she looks at her Discover and it's really personalized and curated for her. I've never used Discover. I just look at it in Google Search Console, because a question we often get right now is, hey, I've got a ton of organic traffic or organic impressions on Google Search Console, but I don't get a lot of conversions. It's like, okay, well, you've been writing really good blogs, you have EEAT and authorship set up, you're getting a ton of visibility through Discover, but yeah, they're in Minnesota and you're here in Texas. And so it's still good to have that visibility, and it probably feeds down to the local area, but maybe you should change some of the keywords and what you're writing to be more generalized in your location. All that saying, like that personalization of your experience, I may never go to Discover. Somebody may only use Perplexity and not use Google search, and that's just the way that it's going to be rolled out.
Yeah, I think, and especially like as generation shift, we're going to see, totally different user behaviors, over time, because ChatGPT might be the default for, younger generations, as opposed to like Google, how it's been for us for so long. So,
and Instagram can get caught, having weird chats with kids in the DMs, which they just got pinged for. So got to be careful. But people are going to be experiencing AI in anything they do on their phone or tablet.
100%. So, alrighty, moving on. So referral traffic from ChatGPT is dropping. So sending 52% less referral traffic than it was. So says this correlates with an increase in ChatGPT citations going back to Reddit and Wikipedia rather than independent websites and blogs. Interesting. So man, it's so crazy how Reddit has become such a monster in terms of just dominating like SERPs now, and how important it is, but also like how kind of difficult and somewhat maybe scary, if you don't do it right, to have a presence on Reddit. So that's interesting. And then Wikipedia, I remember when Wikipedia was like a no-no. It's like, don't go to Wikipedia, and now it's like, going to be one of the top sources for some of this stuff.
I think it still is a no-no as far as a trusted resource, is the way that the user-generated content. I mean, I would treat Wikipedia honestly the same as you would treat Reddit. Like, look, this is coming from people that are either professionals in their own mind, or they might have some professional experience, but they're putting stuff out there and content out there that is very biased. That's what
true.
All content is biased.
Yeah.
we have our own. What I take with this, and this is from was it Search Engine Roundtable?
Yeah, SEO Roundtable.
So Search Engine Roundtable does a really good job. I actually Call Tracking Metrics sent this link out in their email newsletter as well. But I always want to look at the headline and ask some questions, and this is something that we talk about a lot. Is that the headline or is that the article? And the headline to me reads, okay, 52% sure. For our clients, that probably doesn't matter very much, because Wikipedia shouldn't be showing up for local search. Now, if it's a DIY and stuff like that, maybe, but Wikipedia is going to give you like authoritative research, or what happened to the Chicago Bulls in 1997. So I think the types of search queries is what I would like to lean into. And they didn't publish any of the information in this article about what the queries were. It was just kind of an overview. So while this is really interesting, I still would then ask the next question of follow-up. Okay, well, what about our local results? And the best way to do that is, one, manually doing searches with the AI tools and GPT. We do get about 1% traffic with GPT on our sites, so it's pretty small.
Yeah.
But Call Tracking Metrics does a great job of also sharing sources, referral sources in the call logs. And I have seen email forms and calls starting to come in with GPT as a referral source. And it's few and far between.
Yeah.
But I would argue that the ones that at least I've looked at and graded and seen, the quality is there, because it's somebody that has a GPT account, is actually using the chat, and not just clicking around on ads.
Interesting. So does everybody need to go out now and create their own Wikipedia page, or what?
I would, honestly. I mean, it's diversity of effort and getting your name and citation out there. Now, getting it approved, that's a whole other, I don't know what the whole qualifications are now, I know back in the day we used to represent the agent for Antonio Cromartie and some NFL players. So we were in charge of getting their Wikipedia pages set up.
Yeah.
It was the funniest thing, them saying that some first-year NBA players weren't popular enough to have a Wikipedia. They got shut down.
Wow.
They got told no. But all that said, I would definitely look at Wikipedia. And then if you have an in-house marketer, this is something that I would probably say, especially a content producer, I would create my own GPT that is a community-guided GPT to filter content through that then you can engage in your local Reddit subreddits or go into Wikipedia or any user-generated content and be able to go back and forth and just create your own brand strategy. Because as you change marketing managers, or if you have multiple people putting content out, you want to still have one single voice.
Yeah.
And
so should that voice always come from the owner, you think, or?
I would definitely, if the owner is well-spoken and is somebody that you want to put your name on, absolutely. But it should come from your brand guidelines, and it should come from your style guides.
Oh, got it. So more so like it's the point of view of the company as opposed to an individual.
Yes, but tagging it as the owner, if that was your question, absolutely. But like from a subreddit, however you want to go at it, you can come at it as the owner or a manager, but just be clear about who you are. You can ghost and act as if you're the owner, but that takes a lot of trust if you're in a Reddit thread.
Gotcha.
If the owner's name is on it and they start getting some backlash.
Oh, yeah.
But I think just clear your policy, but the biggest thing right now is engage. Don't be afraid to engage.
Yeah. And I think with Reddit, the biggest thing is authenticity. And like, if you're going there to try to purposely game the system, I think you're going to get noticed right away. But if you truly try to add value and, provide insights to people, I think it's, could really be beneficial for people. I'm a huge Redditor. I love Reddit. But you're right, there's a lot of bias there, and you got to be careful on like the stuff that you're reading and like vetting as well. So, and as far as Wikipedia goes, be interesting if you could create, a Wikipedia around your business, and then use like some of the backlinks you might have to, like I know we uncovered not too long ago that I think we did a search for like best AC companies in San Antonio, and it was pulling data from like those pay to play type things, like top picks for whatever local publication. So here in San Antonio, we have the San Antonio Express News. Their web property is mysa.com, and so they have best of MySA, right? The San Antonio Current has it. I know the TV stations do it, and it's interesting. Like these, large language models are pulling from those sources because it's just saying it's the best, but they have no idea that, maybe these businesses paid to get on this list. So that would be something else to, I guess, look out for, but super interesting there.
And I'd say the great equalizer in what we know, regardless of how AI shakes out, user-generated content and reviews are going to carry more weight. And so they're going to balance those things, which they should, in accreditations or badges or training seals, BBB. That is definitely a huge factor. The problem is it's an uphill battle for the smaller guys because they're also paying for review tools like a Podium, like an Automation or ServiceTitan Marketing Pro. So that doesn't mean you need to stop. That just means you got to build into yourself right now the process of getting reviews, and you got to get it started. And if you haven't, you're already way behind.
For sure. Yeah, and that kind of segues into our next item with just Google and those badges you mentioned. So Google's rolling out a new Google Verified badge in October for local service ads. So it's going to replace some of the other trust signals, including Google Guaranteed and Google Screen, and just unify it under one identity. And so what I read, like right now, it's like a green check, and now it's going to a blue check. And then they're also going to potentially cross-pollinate over to other Google properties. And what we saw specifically mentioned Google business profile, right? So that's going to be interesting to see that as well. So. And sorry for being distracted there. So we're in an old bank building, and we always get people coming in. I think it's the bank, but we put up a sign. So shout out to whoever put up a sign, because this guy read it and turned around. So thank you for not interrupting the podcast, but still interrupting the
They did
podcast.
like a full 360 pirouette.
Yeah.
He's still gonna come in. I bet he's walking through the carport right now.
But yeah, so super interesting that, so first we saw now Google local service reviews are also going to appear on, GBP and like vice versa, right? So it seems like that was phase one. Now we're seeing like another phase of, the properties coming together. And I know you mentioned some stuff about maps earlier. So what do you think this is like a sign of for them to just be kind of trying to finally streamline across all these different kind of properties that they have?
Yeah, I mean, it's if it's what most SEOs over the last 5 years have been concerned about, of just Google Maps being more of a pay-to-play situation, and if that's what they were going to do, it seems like a pretty good move to solidify just one approval, get the reviews into one dashboard, and really start pushing it that way. Like, that makes a lot of sense for that to become more of a paid product. So I think that's where they're headed. I think it makes it easier to index also for AI crawlers of like one citation source, one way to approve it. They've also gotten a ton of terrible feedback about businesses getting suspended, getting your approvals, getting GLS licenses and all that. So I think they are also reshifting their approval process. So I think it simplifies it. I think it's a good move. But what we see is these paid badges and these verified badges carry a lot of weight.
Even for sure, yeah.
Angie, right? Like Angie still, I was helping a client that had a very old profile on Angie, and it said not approved, by Angie, but they're running ads on Home Advisor. And so, those two aren't talking to each other. They will be as of Monday. But anyway, it's just a scenario of the barnacle concept of the big guys carry a lot of weight because it's easier to get indexed and have these approvals.
Yeah, I think that badge bait is still super important. And like, you see not only for like status, like, people are now paying for badges on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it. And so I wonder one day if, Google's going to enter that realm and say, hey, you just want to pay to have one. Seems like potentially a next step for them, but also kind of scary that if they do all kind of go under, one roof. Like, we recently had a scare where our Google Ads, our MCC account got suspended, right? Which we might talk a little bit about that and that new kind of scam that's out there. But, so even more important to make sure that like you're following Google guidelines and making sure whether it's yourself or your agency partner is on top of that stuff. Because, one thing goes down and it's all, gone, and never want to get any profile suspended or anything like that. So that'd be interesting. But yeah, on the topic of us getting our MCC suspended, which was fixed relatively quickly. So shout out to our team and our Google reps for helping out there. But it was a very unique way that someone tried to kind of scam us, right?
Yeah, it's heck, we lean in and we'll be vulnerable and open about it, but like it was a really unique way that they did it, where they basically came in through the sales process, which that's not unique, but they also quoted a really large ads budget in the message, which that's kind of normal. They booked meetings with our sales team. They, through multiple emails, said, hey, well, we want to give you access to our Google Ads so that you guys can take a look at it, which, hey, we do that, but we follow a specific process of the MCC getting added, and we get their CID, then we add it to ours. But the pushback we typically get in that process is if a client has a current vendor and they don't want that vendor to know that they're shopping services, they don't want to add the partner ID.
Yeah.
For us, we've never really done this, but we won't be doing it in the future either. They asked if they could just add an email to it, which our team gave them, and we ended up clicking on a couple links. They sent a exact HTML copy of a accept your invitation link, but clear signs that it was wrong. Like the from address was wrong. It was like from something at googlemail.com. And basically what they did, I don't know fully yet, but what I believe happened is they used then us clicking that link to then verify and get advertiser approval for like 100 of their CIDs. And so they used our payments profile to get their CIDs approved. They're probably going to run up a budget on those CIDs, and at the time either try to have us pay for it, or just stiff Google for the bill. And fortunately for us, like the pay-per-click team was not the ones that approved it. They saw it immediately, and one of our guys immediately removed it. So it was probably on there for maybe 2 minutes. But we did start getting emails about advertiser approval. We did start getting emails from the credit team at Google, which I did not know existed, that basically said our credit threshold was getting compromised, because for the most part, 97% of our clients pay Google directly.
Yeah.
We don't want them to think that we're playing games with the margins and marking up Google ad spend as far as the total cost. We want them to see our fee and what you're paying Google. And all that said, it was scary. We got it. I mean, we got suspended for maybe 2 hours and got it unsuspended pretty quick. And none of our clients were impacted in any way. But it is something that the scams are going to scam.
I know, man. I'm wondering like if they just started going down the list of like Google Premier partners and figuring out like targeting them that way. So interesting little scam, but thankfully our team was on top of it and we got everything sorted out, because that would have not been good.
Yeah, right. And that's what our sales team reached out to the real person that they were using her information, and she said that she forwarded us to the cybersecurity team at their office, and they said there have been like 20 other agencies that have called them about it, and so I don't know if the 20 other agencies also clicked the link, but yeah, it's definitely not the best moment for us over the last week.
Yeah. So never click links is the, I think, golden rule of that. So, cool. Well, anything else, dude? I think that's it.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to talk about in the trades right now. I mean, we got Pantheon coming up.
Oh, that's right.
I'm not going to be able to go. I've got another retreat that I'm headed out to, but I know you're taking a squad. I think going 8 people are going from Lead Hub. Eight people deep, Pantheon this year. So excited because,
always wanting to go and see kind of what the new technology is. And one thing ServiceTitan is good about is rolling out, announcing new stuff. The rollout is another side of it. And, just excited to see some of our clients, check out some of the breakouts. I love just going to a lot of the operational stuff. The marketing stuff is good too, but the operation side, trying to understand best practices there. Always love going to the call center stuff because seems like every year you find like another little like nugget that you can take back and share with your clients to help them in their call centers overall. So that's exciting. They got some pretty unique keynotes this year. They got Andrew Huberman, and then Peter Attia. So both kind of like biohackers / I don't know, doctors. I don't know, but I have seen like a couple of their podcasts, and going to be interesting to see what kind of take they have for the trades. And reminds me of the year I went. I guess it was the first year I was here, so 2022. They had Simon Sinek, which was awesome. They had another person, Kat something, I forget her name, but she was the CEO at Cinnabon. Those were really good. They was really great value. Past couple years on keynotes, so interesting to see this year. But yeah, Pantheon's going to be fun. It's I think it's September 17th to the 19th, something like that. So I think there's still tickets available, so free plug for Pantheon. if nobody's going, check it out.
Yeah, and definitely, I'm always intrigued to see how the ServiceTitan staff handles their speaking opportunities, and just being able to see over the past few years the transition of how they've communicated and really been more buttoned up and going to the public and or going public. It's pretty interesting. Really love what they've done. Seeing Tom Howard out there is always good. So I'm gonna miss seeing him and Tyson.
Yeah, and there was, a bit of a shake-up there. I think one of their lead kind of Google Ads persons jumped ship and went to an agency. So be interesting to see what other kind of leadership is there to chat about some of that stuff. So it'll be good. And it's in Anaheim, which I think is close to their headquarters, which is in Glendale. I don't really know, again, geography, not my strong suit. But yeah.
Like I can map billboards and the drive time, and so if we do outdoor buys, knock that out.
Exactly, man. I've gotten good with Google My Maps. I really love that tool for mapping stuff like that, and especially like, we have clients all over the country, and so it's like, Beaver Dam, Virginia. Like, I'm probably, well, for sure, I've never been there, but like, understanding, where that is, which is just north of Richmond, Virginia, if anybody was wondering. Same thing like Spokane, Washington, did not know where that was, but now I do.
Go Zags, let's go.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Spokane's awesome in July. Outside of that, I'm a Texas guy. I can't. They've got some massive trees. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, we need to go there. We need to go see our guys at Raptor Rooter and Plumbing. So if you're in Spokane Valley, Washington, and you need a plumber, go check them out. So exciting stuff for them. We're about to do some wraps for them. And then some print collateral, so it'll be good. We actually talked to Chris today, so he's doing well. But cool. Well, I think that's it for today, right, man?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. That guy actually, he found the bank, so
fantastic.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in to another episode of Talk of the Trades. Hope you found some value. If you did, drop your comments down below. Any questions you have, more than happy to answer them. So thanks for
put your banking information in the comments, and we will send you something nice.
Yeah, click the link that will happen. So cool. Alrighty, y'all.
Later.